Welcome to back a BikeBeat. The moment you fire up the 2026 Honda CB350, you immediately sense it's more than a bike, it's a bridge between eras. With its familiar growl spilling from the pea-shooter-style exhaust and retro-inspired round headlight dipped in modern LED brilliance, the CB350 somehow feels old and new at once. For many riders, this is the dream, vintage aesthetics wrapped in today's engineering, something Honda has managed with remarkable finesse. At the heart of the machine sits a 348.36 cubic centimeters air-cooled single-cylinder engine that's been tuned not to overwhelm but to inspire confidence and deliver a steady, refined flow of power. It produces about 21 PS at 5,500 RPM and generates close to 29.4 Nm of torque at just 3,000 RPM, making the bike ideal for both city commutes and relaxed highway cruising. What makes the motor stand out isn't headline-grabbing horsepower figures, but how usable and approachable it feels in everyday riding. Torque arrives early, letting you glide through traffic or overtake with minimal fuss, and the delivery remains smooth and predictable. Riders will notice immediately that Honda hasn't skipped on modern touches. The CB350 is equipped with dual-channel ABS, offering peace of mind under hard braking. The assist-and slipper clutch makes downshifts buttery smooth, reducing wheel hop and fatigue in stop-and-go traffic. The instrument cluster blends nostalgia with practicality, a large, round analog dial complemented by a digital screen that displays trip details, fuel range, and more. Connectivity also finds its way into this retro package. Certain trims feature Bluetooth integration, voice command capability, turn-by-turn navigation, and call or message notifications, adding convenience without spoiling the vintage aura. Comfort and control are key here, and Honda's suspension choices reinforce that. Up front, a 41mm telescopic fork provides over 100mm of travel, while twin shocks at the rear offer about 120mm, striking a balance between ride comfort and handling stability. Braking is handled by a 310mm disc at the front and a 240mm disc at the rear, with ABS as standard. The bike rolls on a 19-inch front and 17-inch rear alloy wheel setup, shod with tubeless tires sized for stability and predictable cornering. The weight of the CB350 comes in at 178 kilograms with fluids, which gives it a planted, reassuring feel on the road. The saddle sits at 800mm, which is welcoming for riders of varying heights, and the ergonomics lean towards upright comfort, letting you ride longer distances without fatigue setting in too quickly. Honda has also thought about range and practicality. The 15-liter fuel tank paired with a mileage figure around 42 km per liter means you'll be stopping less often for fuel, a blessing on long weekend rides. Add to that small but meaningful features such as a USB charging port, hazard light switch, service due reminder, and even a low battery alert, and the CB350 begins to feel like a complete, rider-focused package. Design is perhaps where the bike charms the most. Honda's designers leaned heavily into retro cues, chrome accents, a sculpted teardrop tank, twin exhausts, and that timeless round LED headlamp. But despite the nods to the past, it doesn't look dated. Instead, it looks like a fresh interpretation of a classic silhouette, something you'd happily park outside a cafe or roll into a weekend meetup with pride. The LED lighting ensures visibility, while the finishes and paint options feel premium and thoughtfully chosen. Variants further allow riders to tailor their purchase. The DLX trim delivers all the essentials, while the DLX Pro adds tech features like traction control and Bluetooth connectivity. Having Honda Selectable Torque Control on a retro bike might sound like an odd mix, but on wet roads or gravel patches, it adds a layer of reassurance that most bikes in this class simply don't offer. The pricing makes the CB350 especially attractive. With the DLX starting around 2.15 Indian rupees lakh and the DLX Pro at about 2.20 Indian rupees lakh ex-showroom, Honda has placed this motorcycle in a sweet spot where it undercuts or matches many of its direct rivals but delivers better refinement and reliability. For riders who are weighing options between Royal Enfield's classic 350, Jawas 42, or even newer entrants in the retro roadster category, the Honda's combination of classic styling, modern tech, and the promise of Honda's after-sales support becomes a powerful argument. On the road, the CB350 offers what many retro buyers crave, a relaxed, confidence-inspiring ride. In the city, the torque-heavy engine feels responsive and never forces you to work the gearbox unnecessarily. The slipper clutch makes traffic situations far less tiring. On highways, the CB350 finds its groove at around 100 to 110 km per hour, smooth, vibration-controlled, and comfortable. Push harder and it will edge to around 120 to 125 km per hour, though the bike's character clearly favors cruising rather than sprinting. Long rides highlight the plush suspension, forgiving ergonomics, and the steady nature of the motor. The exhaust note is another highlight, deep, throaty, and classic without being intrusive. It's the kind of sound that reminds you why you fell in love with motorcycling in the first place. Reliability is a central theme in Honda's design philosophy, and the CB350 benefits greatly from it. Where rivals sometimes struggle with niggles, vibrations, or inconsistent build quality, the Honda delivers a sense of durability and polish. Fit and finish are excellent, cables and wiring are neatly tucked, and paint quality has that unmistakable Honda depth. Over time, these details matter, because retro bikes often end up as long-term companions. When comparing it with its peers, the CB350 distinguishes itself through refinement and value. The Royal Enfield Classic 350 has charisma and heritage, but it carries more weight and less refinement. Jawa's 42 has style, but its reliability reputation is mixed. Honda's answer is a retro bike that doesn't just look good, it works seamlessly every single day. Riders who want the vintage aesthetic but still expect modern-day dependability will naturally gravitate towards the CB350. Unique selling points extend beyond the balance of old and new. It's the thoughtful package: ABS, slipper clutch, torque control, Bluetooth connectivity, hazard lights, navigation assist, USB port, all tucked into a motorcycle that looks as if it just rolled out of the 70s. The bike offers substance under the style, which is why it stands out. Add to that Honda's expansive service network and reputation for reliability, and you have a motorcycle that appeals not only to enthusiasts but also to practical buyers. In the end, the 2026 Honda CB350 is more than just another motorcycle in the crowded retro category. It's Honda's attempt to capture the spirit of the past while ensuring the rider doesn't sacrifice the conveniences of today. For new riders, it's approachable, forgiving, and stylish. For experienced riders, it's a reminder of the golden era of motorcycling, with enough refinement to be trusted as a daily companion. Whether you see it as a cafe companion, a city commuter, or a highway cruiser, the CB350 slots into all these roles with confidence. On camera, this bike is a joy to show off: close-up shots of the chrome tank badge, the round LED headlamp glowing at dusk, the pea-shooter exhaust puffing out that signature note, the digital display quietly offering its readouts, and rolling shots on an open road with the engine purring steadily in the background. The story practically tells itself: a modern classic done right, by a manufacturer that knows how to balance emotion with engineering. The Honda CB350 doesn't pretend to be the fastest or the most powerful, but it doesn't need to. It's about the feeling of the ride, the connection to the machine, and the confidence of knowing it will deliver day after day. That's the magic of this motorcycle, and that's why the CB350, in its 2026 form, is set to remain one of the most compelling choices in the retro-modern segment.